We're good whenever you are, sir.
Okay, well, I'm Gordon Lambdin. I was born July 19th, 1937 in Paola, and at an early age we moved 10.5 miles south of Paola between Youngs Creek or Unionville and a place called Fargo. And we I heard a lot of stories when I was young, some of them true and some of them not. Now this is a true story. My great-granddad had a legal still over on 37 where you get to the south Orange County line, just about a half mile north of that, and over in what they call the Bacon Holler. The road didn't quite go the way it does now. It went kind of along, there's no creek over there, and somewhere in that area, and I can't tell you exactly where, but within a quarter mile, I can tell you where it was. And it was Calvin Silas Lambdin, and I've got his branding on, which you've seen a picture of there. And, well, in the early days, why, we didn't have any transportation, and there was a lot of orchards in the country. I mean, even in my day, why, north of Paola, there was two there within a mile of the city limits, and then going south in Unionville, which was before State Road 37 was completed, there was a lot of traffic went down through Unionville to English, and my grandmother was Dr. Gillett's hard girl, her housekeeper, and she did a lot of the housework and this, that, and the other, and she told me a lot of stories about things, and then Unionville was always noted for drunks, and there was a few illegal stills around there, and a little farther south, and even where this legal still was of my great-grandfather's, why, within a quarter or half mile from that, there was two illegal stills in the 40s. And then there was a big roadhouse down below that that had been built for a place for some of the, well, I guess you would call it criminals that used to come down and stay the weekends. And they made whiskey up over the upstairs and that. And it was sold there, and it was, like I say, a roadhouse was not exactly a hotel, but it was where some of the upper class of the cooks who came down and spent the weekends, and it later become a big grocery store, and well, this guy had the grocery general store. He also sold illegal moonshine. He didn't make it, he sold it, but he wouldn't buy it from the local still owners. And his son told me the story a few years ago that when he was a young man, why, he went with him down to DuBois County to buy whiskey and to take up there and sell. And he talked about he was driving, he was young man, and he was driving, and he started out of a driveway and said his dad told him, said, let me drive. Said, I'm a better driver than you are. And said, my dad got under the wheel and started out, and he dropped off the pavement and got stuck. And said we had the old back end full of moonshine, and there was a state cop come along and said, can I help you? And so I said he got out and hooked a chain to him and helped pull him out of there. Of course, DuBois County was well known for stills up to a few years ago. Now I don't suppose there's any left. I do know they make wine down there, but I don't know about the whiskey. But well, it was so well known in DuBois County that a friend of mine that's dead now came back from World War II early, and he had kind of lost count of where to buy whiskey at, so he said he stopped at the state police post, and whoever was at the desk there told him where he could go to get some good whiskey. But there was a lot of stories told about like I say, some of them true and some of them not. But
Yeah, I believe they used to call that Du Bois County Dew is what I've heard it called a lot, and that was
right.
that was kind of the go-to for a long time.
Du Bois County was always kind of divided. The people from over south of there didn't agree with the Germans that was over in like Jasper and over in there, and even Du Bois. While there was always a kind of a debate. One bus didn't respect the other or something. I think it was caused from speaking two different languages.
Right.
Is what I was told.
Right.
Of course, I guess that's all died out for now. I hope it has anyway.
I would say those guys over at Du Bois, you and I were talking earlier about, a lot of the guys here locally in southern Indiana that were distillers, they distilled brandy, A, because fruit was available, but also B, because their German heritage, that's what they were used to.
Right.
And I would say that the Du Bois County Dew caught on because a lot of those guys were doing it the old-fashioned way, doing a single distillation and a double distillation and making really good liquor, not just trying to turn out profit,
Well, most people don't realize that proof on whiskey is double the percent of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
40% alcohol is 80 proof, and this, that, and the other. And it'd be hard to say what that was back then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it didn't take much. I mean, I've known people that would tell me stories about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was an old fellow here in Paola that had been a legal distillery, had a legal ran a place where he bought, and also he didn't truck it, he carted it. He had told me before he died, he said, I had a new, I think he said 37 Chevrolet business coupe that didn't have no back seat in it, and I had it full of illegal whiskey heading west with it, and said I stopped at Ireland to get some gas, and said I went to the restroom and come back and said there was the cops had her, and said that's the last time I seen the whiskey or the car. And he also told me there was a well-known tavern in Paola that closed probably 20 years ago or so, maybe 30. And he said, well, let me tell you, somebody's relation ran it. He said, you'd be surprised at the amount of illegal whiskey that was made on the square in Paola in the basement of that building. And I guess that accounted for the smell. It don't have a different smell when you pass there.
Right.
Boy.
I would say that's true. They say nowadays there's more illegal whiskey made in New York City than there is anywhere else, because right there, in the middle of everything. So.
Well, the coming of Prohibition caused more problems than solved.
Yes, it did.
That's what caused basically the mobs that were formed. Was, they were in the whiskey business, and they made so much money. They also went into other things.
Right. They created a market for it.
Oh, yeah.
So. Now, do you know? Did your great grandfather there? He was producing brandy legally.
Yeah.
Mostly, I'm presuming apple brandy. Do you? I hear tell a lot of peach brandy in
peach
southern
brandy,
Indiana.
And I've been told they made 2 or 3 different kinds. And
Right.
Where he made anything else or not, I couldn't say.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's all interesting stuff, and that we really appreciate you sharing that with us and showing that brand off. That brand's really something else. The fact that somebody still got something that still harkens back to that early Indiana distilling history, because I always tell people we do tours at my distillery. We do bourbon, we do brandy, we do gin, we do absinthe, we do a little bit of everything. But they always, inevitably, Kentucky always comes up, and I always say, well, the thing about it is that Indiana has just as long a history of distillation as Kentucky. The problem is that we didn't have a very good publicist when we came back from Prohibition.
Yeah.
So, but well, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
All righty.